Hey there, folks. Santee and Dirty Dan.
Howdy.
Arizona Ghost Riders. What do we got?
You have mail.
Santee, do one on burritos. Dirty Dan.
I was hungry.
Okay. Let's look into it.
We can do that. Or you can do that.
We've talked a great deal about food in the Old West and the different cultures involved with bringing it to the frontier. While working on last week's episode about the Colt Navy, I caught up on a few spaghetti westerns and watched characters eating stews and beans and sopping it all up with tortillas. In the Southwest here, that kind of food was paramount. It has origins in both the Mexican and tribal cultures. Much of this food is from grains, vegetables, and spices cultivated in this region. Dishes like pozole, which dates back to the Aztec culture, is broth and either wheat berries or hominy seasoned with spicy peppers and meat. Actually, before the Europeans landed, this soup's protein was, brace yourself for this, flesh from the human sacrifices.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Nowadays, that ingredient is omitted, I hope. Those early indigenous tribes of Mesoamerica used a good deal of corn as a main grain in their diet. Over the years, the methods of cooking it developed into tortillas, tamales, and the ever-popular chip. These are all very smart ways of containing combinations of beans, dips, salsas, you name it. Oh yeah, salsas go back to the Aztecs too.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
When I lived on the East Coast, Southwestern food was limited to Taco Bell and the occasional Mexican restaurant. Tacos, burritos, and enchiladas were our idea of what the cuisine was. Then, I moved out here and watched a lady hand make a tortilla on a hot griddle. She lifted it up and I could almost see through it. I tasted it and realized everything I knew about Mexican food was wrong. Southwestern cuisine can combine fresh fruit and flavorful vegetables, beans, and even cactus with seasoned grilled or barbecued meat. Top it with regional cheeses and salsas and it's a taste explosion. Maybe the most recognizable and controversial Southwestern dish would be chili.
It will fight off anything you got going on.
In 1857, the book Chili con Carne, or The Camp in the Field, written by S. Compton Smith, describes eating chili while in Mexico during the Mexican-American War. Other sources describe the portability of a block of dried meat, peppers, and suet that could be reconstituted into a stew. This definitely makes sense. Drying meat was common, and given the arid climate of our region, a smart way to preserve animal protein for times when it might be difficult to acquire it.
Look, I'm just saying, it's not chili.
It's chili.
It's got beans in it.
Okay, regarding chili, I'm not going to go into a lot here because the claims and disputes are way too numerous for this video.
They don't eat beans in Texas?
I eat beans all day, they just don't eat them in chili.
What I will tell you is that the idea had been around for a long time at that point, but later in the Old West it started to take on a life of its own. Oh, by the way, did I mention they can be really hot? Priests in the 19th century referred to it as soup of the devil.
That stuff will burn the hair off a frog's butt right there.
Different ingredients were used in different regions. For instance, in New Mexico they celebrate not only the red, but the green chili. You will find some delicious dishes made from these. By the way, that territory was cultivating chilies like crazy in the 1700s. Ah, chilies, that primary spice. I love me some red hot chili peppers. The vegetable, not the band. Well, I do like the band, but not sprinkled on my tacos. Unless I was Aztec. Then it might be different. But I digress.
Is that a fact?
The peppers that cause us to mop our brow when eating them are chock full of vitamin A and C, as well as having pain-relieving qualities. In the 1849 book Cherokee Physician, there are 40 pages of remedies using red pepper. Southwestern cuisine has sure taken on a life of its own since our old Westians ate it. Tex-mex, which in the 20th century turned into its own cuisine, is a conglomeration of many regional ingredients and tastes originating back to those Mesoamerican roots. So the next time you grab a taco in that drive-thru lane, think about its origins and the historic aspect of the food you're putting in your mouth. By the way, I recommend the Diablo sauce. We're going to talk a little bit about the portability of Southwestern food, and I got a couple of McDonald's burritos, if you could.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I know that McDonald's isn't the epitome of Southwestern cuisine. However, it does illustrate the fact that a corn tortilla or a flour tortilla could be used as a vehicle to put a bunch of different foods in. Foods like stews and sauces and beans and cheeses, you know, things like lettuce, right? Stuff like that. You know, yeah, absolutely. So those are the kinds of things that it would make a good portable food. Tacos are the same way, right?
There you go.
Quesadillas, things like that. So let's see what actually McDonald's has wrapped up in their burritos. Let's see what we can come up with, okay? All right. Let's see what they put inside theirs. Napkins?
Oh my God, can you imagine somebody would do that? You can't let this happen. You should go have a talk with them folks.
I'm gonna go. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna go return it. I'll be
You
right
should.
back.
Hey folks, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on down the trail. He'll be back in a little bit.
You could eat it on the back of a horse. You could. I got to get through this. Okay.